Hello, my name is Dr. Craig Childress. I'm a clinical psychologist in Pasadena, California. I specialize in treating children with ADHD spectrum issues, angry, oppositional kids, parenting problems, problems in family relationships. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to discipline a child who hits. Now, part of how we intervene with a child who's hitting depends on how old the child is. For 2, 3, 4-year-old child, to some degree that's developmentally normal, okay, to become angry and move that into physical hitting. I don't like it, I don't want it, I'm going to suppress it. But I'm going to respond to it slightly differently than I would to a 10, 12, or even a 16-year-old who hits. So for the younger children, what they're learning is how to manage their emotions and how to bring those emotions into the social field, social communication, social dialogue. One of the first things I'll want to do with any aggression is communicate to the child that that is not acceptable. Absolutely not acceptable. And you hear it a little bit as I change in the tone of my voice. But it's a calm and confident assertion of authority. No, that's not acceptable. Now, once I've done that, though, I've breached the relationship and breached the connection with the child. So I need to go back and restore that relationship. So then I'll approach the child with an intent to understand. So what happened with that? Tell me what got you so angry that you would hit somebody? Oh, I see. So they were doing, I get it. Okay. And now I go back again to applying the authority. But you do not hit. That is never acceptable. Then I return to repairing the relationship. Next time, you know what? Come get me. I'll help you out. I'll solve it. I'll help. We want our kids to see us as helpful resources when they're overwhelmed or they're distressed. Come to me, bud. I'll help you out. Okay. And so for younger kids, that's the communication I want to make with them. For mid-range kids, that's a whole different issue because by this point in time, they should be able to manage their anger and frustration. This is when the child becomes aggressive in the mid-range years. That's a much more serious indicator of emotional distress in the child, maybe related to family problems, divorce, other issues that might be going on for the child. In those cases, I would really want to seek professional counseling to see what's going on with the child, to see what emotional distress is going on that might be provoking the aggression. My clinical experience is typically that aggression involves love that's gone way haywire. It's kind of all knotted up. For older kids, adolescents, that becomes an even more serious issue. For adolescents that are aggressive, it almost, when they become aggressive towards parents, it almost can become a domestic violence situation. There's safety issues involved. Adolescents are big kids. And so it's a whole different ballgame when you get aggressive adolescents. For the most part, the consequence for social aggression is isolation from the social group. So for younger kids, I might put them on a timeout chair. For middle range kids, I might send them to their room or leave the situation. And for older kids, I would leave the situation typically. I hope this is helpful. For more information on this, you can visit my website. Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Dr. Craig Childress. I'm a clinical psychologist in Pasadena, California. I specialize in treating children with attention deficit hyperactivity spectrum disorders, angry oppositional kids, parenting problems, and family relationship problems. Today I'm going to talk with you about how to help a child who's always angry. One of the issues about an angry child that I've sort of experienced in my clinical practice is that angry has to do with love that's gotten all twisted and knotted up. That anger actually continues to be a connection. It's just a connection that expresses pain rather than a connection that expresses nurturance. And so what we want to do for a child who's always angry is not necessarily respond to the anger, but see if we can find and respond to the child's pain and the child's need to love and be loved. Frequently, what's helpful in responding to anger is an intent to understand. When we approach with an intent to understand, this tends to de-escalate anger. So an intent to understand is basically a simple, caring and concern for the child's experience from the child's perspective. Now, there is a false intent to understand where we ask the child, why did you do that? And the child gives us a reason, and then we invalidate it with a solution or recommendation or tell them why they shouldn't be feeling the way they're feeling. That's a false intent to understand. A true intent to understand really is just a simple curiosity about the child's experience from the child's point of view. And I typically like to hit that 3 or 4 times. So if I have an angry, frustrated child, I'll really want to understand what's going on. Why you're angry? And they give me a response, and then I'll help explore that a little bit more. So you're feeling angry about this? Okay. Is it this quality about this or that quality? I'm really caring about what the child's experience is. And when we care about another person's experience, that tends to de-escalate the angry. The other feature that we want to do is we want to bring the emotion into communication. And so rather than just explosive, expressive emotions, what are called catastrophic emotions, we want to bring it into the communication system, what are called emotional signaling. And the relationship is defined as being able to influence the other person. So the child is able to influence us, and we're able to influence the child. And as long as we have that mutual influence going back and forth, we have a relationship, and then we bring emotions in to communicate, to help provide the context for the situation. Oftentimes what anger communicates in that communication system is that things are important to me. This is really important. And so just recognizing and acknowledging the importance to the child of whatever they're struggling with. And in this regard, Gandhi had an interesting comment when he said the antidote is the opposite. So the antidote for anger would be love or communication or laughter or joy. Angry met with angry is not going to get you a very good outcome. If you'd like to learn more about this or other parenting issues, you can go to my website. And thank you very much. ADHD spectrum issues, angry oppositional children, parenting issues, and family relationship problems. And today I'm going to talk with you about how to discipline a screaming child. One of the first things to assess in working with a screaming child is it drama or is it disorganization? If it's drama, that tends to be a relationship and communication issue. The child is expressing their emotions within a relationship sort of context. If it's disorganization, that indicates distress. The child is extremely distressed, and the screaming is indicative of the degree of distress that's in the child. The reason this is important is because if it's a drama kind of screaming that's going on, you want to respond with calm and confident authority to reestablish the child's sense of safety within the relationship and the sense of appropriateness within the relationship. If it's distress and disorganization, then we need to respond with a supportive intervention, a relationship-based intervention that helps the child regain organization. And some of the things we might want to do with that is to assume a calming and soothing tone, perhaps some soothing touch with the child. Don't continue to engage the issue. If I have a screaming child who is disorganized, who is in intense emotional distress, I'm not going to continue on the issue that got them into distress. I'm going to focus on helping them regain organization and regain the calm state that they were in prior to the events. And then I can go back and deal with the issues again. Some of the other things I might do is to approach the child with an intent to understand. And the intent to understand is a simple curiosity and caring about the child's point of view, about the child's experience. And so an approach to try to understand and get the child to communicate to me what it is that they're concerned about. I typically want to hit this about 3 or 4 times, really trying to understand the child's experience from the child's point of view before I move on to solutions or recommendations or anything else. The idea is to restore relationship with the child, to restore that sense of relationship and communication to help them calm that internal disorganizing distress that they're under. That's about all I can cover in this segment. If you'd like to learn more about this information or others, you can visit my website. Thank you very much.